Hello and welcome to the last episode of this series. We're finally in the end where we're gonna do the assembly. We're gonna learn the basics of assembly and assemble all of the parts that we've made right here, just as this shows. So first things first, you need to know where all of the parts are, and they have to stay in this place. They need to be connected. If you move a part somewhere else, you will not be able to open your assembly folder later. So let's first analyze this. A little quick disclaimer. I'm pretty sure, as you've seen from the last episode, the KLIN5, named them into Bush, and I'm pretty sure we kind of messed up the order in which it is. So this is push 2, and I'm pretty sure that I made the link pin called that. So this is this. So that's a little bit of a mistake from my end, but you'll just follow what I select, and you'll get the same product. Now, now that the disclaimer is over, let me show you how we're gonna start. So you can make a sub-assembly in CATIA. What does that mean? That means you have an assembly in an assembly. What would that mean? Just having copies of things inside, literally. So we have this piston head, and it has these piston rings. These are the things that we made. It has multiple piston rings. So we're just gonna use the same piston ring that we made, piston ring, and we're just gonna add it multiple times in our assembly, and that's just a sub-assembly when you think about it a little bit more. So now we can make also the copy of this whole part right here. All of these connections we can make as a sub-assembly and add them 4 times in our main assembly. So let's do that. Let's go in CATIA. Let's just get out of this little pin. So go into mechanical design and assembly design, and you'll get a completely new environment. Now, let's call this the sub-assembly. Sub-assembly. So if you want to know how I did that, you can just right click and go into properties, which is Alt plus Enter, which is what I did. Just press the Alt and then Enter key. And now we need to add our parts. You can do the existing component. So add existing components. We've selected that, and now we select sub-assembly. We want to add them in this. Now it's saying to us, find the parts that you want inside. So let's go into radial piston rod. Oops, it looks like I selected something by mistake, and that's an error. Okay, so watch out what you press, be careful. So we want to add our piston head first. It's gonna be simpler to start from there. The piston head. There we go. And now let's do this. Select the piston head and select this command, fix component, which makes the piston head not move. It's in constraints. Constraints is the main thing in assembly that you'll be using. It's the thing that you're going to be using to move all of your geometry around. So we want it fixed. If you look at the constraints, now we've added the fix command to this, so it cannot be moved. Next up, let's check our picture. First things first, what we should do is find this bush. So it should be bush 3, but I think I named it something else. So let's try and open it up. Let's see which one it is. So bush 3. Let me check which one should that be. This should be it. The 42 millimeters and 2224. Let's check that out. Let me check if that is bush 3 that we made. Let me just check our little constraints that we added for this. 2224. This is it. So we're gonna add this. Let's get out. We do not want to save any changes. Add another existing component to the sub-assembly. It's called bush number 3. Now bush number 3 is somewhere underneath this. There we go. Now the command you're gonna be using. Let's just move this here and keep it here because this is mostly what we're gonna be using. It's called manipulation. It's actually not in this one. It's in here. My bad. It's in move. So this is it, manipulation. Basically, you select in what coordinate you want to make. So if I selected the Y, actually the Z coordinate is more simple. The Z coordinate should be up and down. So if I select this, now I can just move it up and down. And I can move it in the y coordinate, left and right. So I just want to move it out of the way so I can figure out how we're gonna place this here. So let's get back to this. This is connected with the main thing. Alright, let's do that later actually. So we've added that, we're gonna keep it here for no reason. Let's add the piston rings real quick. So let's go in this and add the piston rings. So select add existing component and subassembly, and we're gonna add the piston ring. We want to add it 1, 2, 3, 4 times exactly. Wait, what? It looks like we've made a mistake. The piston ring is not big enough. It should be this big enough for this. So let's just quickly go here where the piston ring is at. Let's just fix that real quick because it's pretty simple to fix, I'm pretty sure. Well, I hope. So it's just 43. And that's this is diameter, it should be a radius. So 43 times 2 and 47 times 2. A pretty simple mistake that we made. It's a good thing, it's pretty easy to fix. And also the pocket, it's good, but we have to move it. We wanted to go up to next. So last, to next, and there you go. Now it should be good. Very sorry for this. Definitely have to add this in another video. Now that it's done like that, it should be now. Yep, it's a good size now. So the piston ring, we want it to be. We want to use this command. It's called offset constraint. Yeah, it shows what it does. We do not want to see this prompt anymore, so we want to select. Let's first move the piston ring because it's kind of confusing us. The simplest thing to do actually should be to move our piston head, because we're going to be moving many things many times. So let's just delete this and move the piston head up at the Z coordinate a little bit. There we go. It's going to be easier to manipulate the other things. Now that we've done that, we can now add the anchor moment to this, and this will not move. Now select our offset constraint, select this bottom face, and we want it to be 0 millimeters from this face. So if we make it, now it's 69 almost, funny number, make it 0. And now nothing changed, but we need this command right here. Update. Update just shows you the updated version and how it looks. There we go. Perfect fit. And now we're just going to repeat this more. How many times? 1, 2, 3 more times. So let's just go and add existing component in assembly. We want to add a piston ring. We're going to do that again. Another time. And that should be enough rings. So offset face. Now that we selected the top face, let's select the top face here and make it 0. And okay. Now update it. I'm just gonna put update back where I always keep it. We're gonna do it 2 more times. This, we've selected it automatically. Now select this upper face. We want it to be 0. Update. Another time. Select this face and this face. Make it 0 and update it so we can see how it looks. Now let's just have a normal view to see how it looks. It looks nice. Now next up, let's add this little rod. So this rod should be our first rod that we've ever had. So let's add an existing component, and it's called piston rod, which is not 2. There we go. Let's just move it a little bit with manipulation. The y coordinate a little bit to this position. Okay, so this should be fitting in here. Because this is a circular thing, we can use coincidence. Coincident constraint makes circular things parallel. So this should be parallel with this. I mean, in a coincidence, not parallel, my bad. Now that we've done that, I'm pretty sure we can just make these faces far apart just by 0. Let's update it. And there we go, we have that in there. It's a little bushing. Now with the smaller bushing is number 4. Let's hope it's number 4 now. Let's check number 4 real quick. Let's check it also here. Number 4 is this small one, which is 15 and 12. So let's just check our sketch. Is it 15 and 12? I don't know. We just check it out. It's 24 and 30. Which one is that? This is a technical problem. I'll just skip far ahead in the video so you don't have to see this stuff. So I'll just jump cut this. And we're back. I guess I made a mistake and made this double. Well, it's not showing the radius, it's showing the diameter. So let's just make this half. So one should be just 15, the other should be 12. Everything else should be good. Exit this one, get out. Yes, I want to save my changes. Now we're gonna go here, add our little file, which is bush number 4. It's right here. We want to make coincidence with close with this, and let's update it, check it out. I'm not certain if it should be centered completely, so let's just check this. 0, update. Let's check the bottom side. It might be yeah, I'm not centering it completely. Let me just check what it should be. So this is tall 24 and this is 28. So it should be just -2. Add this to be -2, -2. Update it. Okay, +2, I guess. Now it should be perfectly fitted. Greatness. Now the next thing we should be doing, let's check our little assembly. It's connecting all this with this. So the bigger side is connected with the piston. Let's find out our biggest side. This is it. Let's make this and this into a coincidence and let's check what happens. That looks pretty good. Now let's just make this plane into coincidence with this plane. Yes. Update that. It should be centered. All we have to do is just rotate this a little bit. Now to do that, you can use manipulation, I'm pretty sure, again. And we want to rotate it. Let me just check, see a better side view from this. It's on rotation on this axis, which is the y axis. That's how we want to move. I want this to move. Update it. Okay, just a little bit more. Update. And that's kind of good. Okay. Ah, that's a problem. Let's get this coincidence deleted. We'll have to take half of this, which means let's just make a distance from this and this plane to be in this side. We want it in this direction, and let's check how that what the difference should be. So it's 42, half of 42, I'm pretty sure. So 22. Now it is centered. And looks to be almost a clean fit, which is awesome. Now we need to add the piston plug. Let's see a little picture. It's this little thing, the piston plug. It's called this. So let's find it and add it. Piston plug. Where is it at? It's right here. Let's just move it a little bit to the side. There we go. Let's make this and this into a coincidence. It's almost perfect. Let's just check what happens if we did this. That looks pretty good. We might not even have to move it. The way we should make it is this and this to be a distance, a certain distance. This plane from this plane is 32, so let's just keep it at 32. And now we're almost done. We just have the other side. To do the other side, we'll just add the piston pin again. So add an existing component. Piston plug. Is that a pin? So first things first, move it a little bit. Okay. Make this like that. Let's rotate it a little bit. It's not that. Let's just check NX. Okay, update it. Now it's on the other side. Let's just use this and this. We want it to have a dimension, which is 32 on the positive side. That was my bad. That should not have happened. Selected the wrong ones. So this plane, so watch out which plane you select. Let's select this one. This should be the main plane of the piston head. So minus 32 in this situation, and there we go. This looks about right. We can now, pretty sure, just hide almost most of these planes, but we'll keep them for now. Actually, we won't. We'll just hide them. So we'll select them and hide them. There's one thing that we've hidden, I'm pretty sure. That's the pins. Oopsies. You can just select them manually and just hide them all. There we go. This should be our little sub-assembly. Let me check if we can add another thing. We could add this and just add a little bit on top. So let's do that. Let's go in here, add one more thing. It should be the linking pin. Move the linking, first things first, let's just figure out where this is at. Let's add the linking pin. Let's just move it up. There we go. Hide these planes. And let's save our little sub assembly here in our radial piston rods. Yes, it's now saved. We don't need to see these little things. We can actually just hide all of our constraints. Save it like that. We can now exit this and start another assembly. We're now starting another assembly. Let's make this one the main assembly. So we're gonna do mostly the same things, just with this instead with this little rod. So I'll just probably skip this portion. Let me just show you the basics, how it's gonna look like. So we're gonna select the main assembly, add an existing thing, add the piston rod number 2. Piston rod number 2 is added. Add our little piston head. Oops, that's a mistake. Add our little piston head. Let's move the rod up a little bit. Or down, it's not really that important. Let's just move it somewhere. Let's select it, anchor down so it doesn't move. Let's select our piston. We want this to coincidence with this. We want to rotate something. So let's rotate. Is it on this? Nope, it's on the X. It's on the Z. Just a little bit more. So a top view, see how it looks like, or a bottom view. There you go. It's almost perfect. It doesn't have to be too perfect. Now let's make piston head. We want to just see our little planes real quick. This plane right now. We just need this one. And we want to make the distance from here to here. Let's check out how much we want it. To do that, we just need to check how tall this is. 42, so half of that, which is 21. Minus 21. Let's update it. And it should be completely centered. Add our little piston pins. And the piston rings. And I can skip that part because you've seen it. So I'll do it here. Let me just show you the basic view so I can make it an easier jump cut. So this is how it looks like, and we are done. The only thing that changed was these piston rings. They would turn like this. They would be parallel with this plane, so you would have to make a coincidence with the rings. Selecting them and this, so they would turn, so they could be parallel with this plane. That's the only difference you have to do it. Then you do the offset constraints, which you would make one face 0 millimeters away from the other face, or use just a coincidence to make them complete, like together completely. We've done this part. All that's left is to add the sub assemblies 4 times on this. Let's do that. Now we just add and select this. Select our main assembly and add the sub-assembly. Here is the sub-assembly. Now let's just move the entire thing a little bit. Like that. Now this is going to be a little bit complicated. We have to figure out how we're going to center this. First things first, this should be in a coincidence with this. Okay, that's interesting. Now we have to just edit our sub-assembly real quick. We just need to remove that coincidence. So let's just Okay, so the link ping is kind of making things a little bit complicated for us, because it's making it look as a one thing in whole. So we're just gonna delete the link ping. Yes. Save it like that. Now that's gonna make a little glitch in which it's gonna say in this little thing, I'm pretty sure, where is that coincidence? Okay, I guess it deleted the coincidence. Ah, there it is. It's saying, it's mostly saying you have a coincidence of a part that does not exist. So let's just delete that. Now, let's make this into a coincidence. This. Let's check how that look. It looks beautiful. It actually looks pretty good. Great. Next up, let's just add a little part, which is the linking pin. Let's just add an existing component and add our linking pin. Where is the linking pin? There it is. Let's just make it into an instance with this. Now, how far away should that be from that? I'm not certain. We'll figure things out. Let's make it like 10, just to see how it looks like when we do that. Okay. Let's make it -10. Update it. Oh, you moved that. Let's just do this. Make this a coincidence with this. There you go. It perfectly fits. That's great. I'm not certain how far this should go, so let's just make a coincidence or just use dimensions to make it completely connected with this. So update it and look how it looks. That's what we basically have to do 3 more times again. So to not bore you, I'll just skip to it so you can see the final result. So once again, this is how it looks like. Let's go to work and see how it's gonna look like once we've done a jump cut. So this is the jump cut. This is how it should look like if you've done everything like I did. The way you can just fix this is using manipulate and make it go around the Z coordinate and just select whatever way it should be. This one should be like this kind of. And this one should be going like this. Update it. They look good. And I think this one is the last one. Let's update it. And there we go. We can now just hide all of our constraints because we don't need to see them. And the sub-assembly as well. Let me just hide all of them. There we go. There we go. We've added our little link pins. The assembly should be finalized. Let me just look at it from the angle we've seen in this little picture. This is it. Our little assembly, basically made of this and these sub-assemblies, which made our life much easier because we could have done this all again, this painstaking part, multiple times. That is it, the complete end of this series. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry for all the mistakes that I made. I'm not really that perfect, but I guess that's good because this could happen to you in the future project, and you know you do not mess up completely. It's pretty easy to fix it. Hope this video taught you something. Have a nice day, morning or evening. Bye bye.